It was a late-night drive down a pitch-black, quiet road. The kind of single-lane road flanked by deep ditches, where any wrong move could end in disaster. Everything was dead silent, until I passed a car parked strangely in the ditch. My immediate thought, a hidden speed trap. But as soon as I passed, its headlights flickered on, pulled onto the road. Right behind me, my stomach dropped. I checked my speed. I wasn't speeding. My headlights were on and my license was fine. So why was this random sedan tailing me? To test if I was actually being followed, I pulled into a brightly lit gas station. To my relief, the car kept driving straight past. I took a deep breath, grabbed some gas, and laughed at my own paranoia. I finally turned down my quiet neighborhood street and rounded the bend to my house. But as my headlights hit the driveway, my blood ran cold. That same car was sitting right in my driveway. I slammed on the brakes, jammed the gear into reverse, and tore out of there as fast as I could. I spent the next 10 minutes driving aimlessly, heart pounding out of my chest. When I finally dared to return, my driveway was empty. It's been years, but I still wonder, how did they know where I lived? A few weeks ago, I was stuck in terrible rush hour traffic on a major highway, bumper to bumper, completely motionless. All 5 lanes, locked in a standstill. Bored, I glanced over at the lane beside me. The rear window of the car next to me was slightly ahead. Inside, sat a guy staring straight at me, wearing the most unnerving, unhinged smile I've ever seen, slowly waving his hand. But what made my heart skip a beat was looking at the driver's seat. The driver was wearing a pitch-black ski mask. I quickly looked away, trying to ignore them. But every time I glanced back, that guy was still smiling, still staring. Eventually, traffic crawled forward, and I merged into the far right lane to take my exit. We came to another sudden stop, next to a high divider wall. That's when I saw him, walking down the narrow shoulder, against traffic, heading straight for my car. The smile was gone, replaced by pure, furious rage. He marched up to my passenger door and violently yanked the handle. Luckily, it was locked. Terrified, I slammed my hand on the horn and held it down. The loud, continuous blare triggered other frustrated drivers around me to start honking too. Surrounded by a chaotic wall of sound, the creep panicked and disappeared into the traffic. Traffic finally moved, and I took my exit without looking back. Working late-night pizza delivery means driving down creepy, abandoned roads after midnight. My route home took me through a winding, heavily wooded stretch of road, less than half a mile from my apartment. As I rounded a sharp curve, my headlights illuminated a massive tree branch, sitting smack in the middle of the road. I slowed down. I was exhausted, but something felt wrong. There were no overhanging branches directly above that spot. It looked like it had been deliberately placed there. My first instinct was to step out and drag it away, but my gut screamed at me to stay inside the car. Instead, I stopped, threw my car into reverse, and turned around to find another route. As my headlights swept across the dense woods, the beam hit someone. A man was standing right behind a tree. The moment the light caught him, he frantically ducked into the shadows. It was a setup. The branch was bait to get me out of my car. I slammed the gas pedal, sped away, and immediately dialed 911. Always trust your gut. It might just save your life. About 3 years ago, I was driving through an isolated, rural area late at night. My fuel gauge was on empty, so I pulled into a small, unmanned gas station at a deserted intersection. Fields and dark hills surrounded the area for miles. I swiped my card and began pumping gas. Out of nowhere, I noticed a stranger walking past the back of my car. The station building was locked and dark, and there were no other cars around. Where had he even come from? He didn't make eye contact and vanished around the side of my vehicle. I assumed he was just walking down the road. I finished fueling, hung up the nozzle, and got into my driver's seat. As I sat down, I looked over at the passenger side. He was standing right outside my window, staring in. Before I could react, he suddenly dropped to the ground and crawled completely underneath my car. I froze. I rolled my window down a crack and yelled, "What are you doing?" Silence. I honked the horn. Nothing. Fearing he was messing with my car, I stepped out, took a few paces back, and called out again. Slowly, he slithered out from under the car, stood up, and started walking toward me. Without saying a single word, I took a step back. He matched my pace. I started power walking. He sped up. Then, he sprinted straight at me. I ran for my life into the dark grassy field, making a wide loop back toward my driver's side. I barely beat him back, locked the doors, and slammed the accelerator before he could reach the handle. I've never driven back to that gas station again. It started a few weeks ago on my way to the grocery store. I pulled up to a red light next to a hideous, mismatched car. It looked like it was pieced together from 4 different junkers. Every door and panel was a completely different color. I passed it when the light turned green and forgot about it. But 10 minutes later, as I walked out of the store, I noticed the exact same mismatched car, parked in the far corner of the lot. A weird coincidence, I thought. 2 nights later, I went to my gym very late. As I was leaving, there it was again, sitting alone in the darkest corner of the parking lot. Now, I was genuinely unsettled. The final straw happened just last week. I was standing near my living room window late at night when headlights swept across my wall. My street is dead silent at night. I peeked through the blinds and saw that monstrosity of a car crawling down my street at a snail's pace. As it passed directly in front of my house, I ducked below the window frame, holding my breath until the engine noise faded away. Was it a series of crazy coincidences? Or am I actively being stalked? I still don't know. But I pray I never see that car again.